We are looking at CPCTC classwork, okay? All right. HEA is congruent to MAN by what? What do we have here? So we're going to write this down. What is this? This is a, let's try that again. This is a, this is an A, this is a, so angle, angle, side. Hay is congruent to man by angle, angle, side. So what other parts of the triangle are congruent by CPCTC? And CPCTC stands for corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay? Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So, for example, let's say I've proven my right hand is congruent to my left hand. Okay? Are my pinkies congruent to each other? Yeah. So, if you prove two triangles are congruent to each other, all their sides and angles must be congruent to each other, right? So, angle H is congruent to what angle over here? Which one? M. So side HY is congruent to what side over here? MN, right? MN. And side EY is congruent to what side over here? AN, good. So, if we have two triangles that are congruent to each other, all their sides and angles are congruent to each other. Okay, you ready to try another one? Okay, why don't you try the next one on your own? Tell me why. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. CAT is congruent to what over here? So you got to list the triangle and then tell me why. By like hypotenuse, leg, side, angle, side, 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 angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side. And then we're going to say what other parts are congruent by CPCTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Try it right now. Anthony or Amaya, do either of you have a pass? Thank you.
Let's see.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you ready to go over it?
Yeah, I will.
I will wait. I will wait. I'll give you another minute. I was going too fast, sorry. I won't go as fast. Okay. Triangle CAT is congruent to what triangle? Triangle RAP. And what are they congruent by? Angle, side, angle. Good. Okay. So what are the other stuff that's left over? Do you guys want to start with a side or an angle? Angle. So angle T is congruent to which angle? P, good. Okay, let's try a side. Angle side AT is congruent to what side? AT is congruent to AP. Okay, and finally, let's say TC is congruent to what side? PR. Is this making sense? Okay. Now we're going to do like a fill-in-the-blank proof. Okay? So we're given that AC is congruent to AR. So AC right here is congruent to AR right here. Okay? We're given that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. What else do we have in this picture? We have vertical angles, right? We have these by vertical angles. So these two triangles are now congruent by what? I heard it. Say it louder. Yes. Okay. And then how would 3 and 4 be congruent to each other? What did we just learn today? On this sheet in front of you? CPCTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay? I know it's a lot of letters. I will put it on the board. Okay? All right. AC is congruent to AR by what? Given. What's my other given that I need to put for number 2? Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Why is CAL and RAS congruent to each other? Vertical angles. If you just want to put VA, that's fine. Now, why are these two triangles congruent to each other? What do I have next? Angle, angle, side. And then 3 is congruent to 4 by? Can we say it together? CPCTC. CPCTC. I know it's like a really long acronym, but nobody wants to write corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent for it, do we? We'd rather write CPCTC? Yeah, okay. All right, let's turn it over. All right, should we do one more together before I let you do some on your own? Okay. So again, I would mark up the paper first. Angle NLM is congruent to LNO. And OLN is congruent to MNL. Okay, so what else is true from this picture? Got these two angles. What else is true? LN is congruent to LN by what? Reflexive. And then how are the two triangles congruent to each other? Angle, side, angle. Remember that side is in between. And then why would M and O be congruent to each other? By what? What did we learn today? CPCTC. Good. So NLM is congruent to LON by what? Given. What's my other given? Angle OLN is congruent to MNL. Okay, it says reflexive. What's reflexive over here? LM is congruent to LM. And so triangle LMN is congruent to triangle. So we said LMN. So we need to say NOL by what? How are the triangles congruent? Angle, side, angle. Some of you are scared to say. Okay. And then M is congruent to O by what? CPCTC. Can somebody let Jalen in? Sorry. Hopefully this is the last time somebody needs to be let in. Okay. Number 5. Should we mark the picture together and then you guys try it on your own? Want to do that? Okay. Moving it up. All right. AC is congruent to BC. Make sure you pick those up. Okay. AC is congruent to BC. AX is congruent to BX. Okay? What else do we have in our picture? I need another side or another angle. What else is true here? Yep. XC is congruent to XC by the reflexive property. Why are these two triangles congruent? Side, side, side. Very good. And then why is angle 1 congruent to angle 2? CPCTC. Okay, try to fill out this proof now on your own, and then we'll look at it together. Try to fill it out on your own, and then we'll look at it together. Write this down right now. No talking. Actually, just write this down. You guys, there are two givens, but there's not space for two of them. Just write them on the same line. You guys ready? You got a question, Tori? We'll go over that. That's a good question. Okay. So, let's start out with writing both of our givens down. AC is congruent to BC, and AX is congruent to BX. You guys, the reason I can put them both on the same line for given is because they're congruent. They both are showing something's congruent. Neither one of these say like the midpoint or, you know, like alternate interior angles, something or other, right? Like they're saying that they're congruent. Shh. Okay, we know CX is congruent to CX. That's the reflexive property. Now I've gotten this question a couple times. I've got triangle AXC. Does it matter what letters I do for the other triangle? Yes, they have to match. So B matches with A, so I'm going to put that next. X and X match, they're congruent to each other, and C match. So you have to do it in that order. And this is side, side, side. And then finally, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And what is the reason angle 1 is congruent to angle 2? CPCTC. Okay, last one. I want you to do it all on your own. 100%. Okay? Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. Do they both say they're congruent to something? So could they go on one line? Okay. We've got our picture over here, and we're going to prove that XY is congruent to ZY. Okay, I'm just going to give you about 2-3 minutes. 2-3 minutes. Write this down. What? Yes, Cole? Good. You guys should be doing this right now. I'm not sure why you're doing anything else. If you're finished, start working on your homework. So you can do alternate interior angles either way. You should be working on this. You should not be talking. I want you to finish it up first. Finish it up first. Quiet, please. Guys, I've asked you multiple times to be quiet. Now you need to work on this. We ready? Yeah? Okay. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 that's given. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 4 that's given. What else is true on this picture? XZ is congruent to XZ, and that's reflexive. Why are these two triangles congruent to each other? By what? Angle, side, angle. And then why? Because see how the side is in between the two angles? That's why it's angle, side, angle. Why is XY congruent to ZW? By what? What did we learn today? CPCTC. So the first thing I'm going to do is write down angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. That's my given. Why is XZ congruent to XZ? By what? Reflexive. Shh. I'm almost done. Triangle XWZ is congruent to what triangle? Can you tell me what letter goes with X? 1 and 2 are congruent, so it's got to be Z, then Y, then X. Careful of that. And that's by angle, side, angle. And then XY, stop talking please, I'm almost done, is congruent to ZW by what again? CPCTC. Okay, good job, thank you. Okay, your homework is going to be just like that.